We're really delighted with the decision, and we will be working with the council closely to ensure that micromobility is a success in Queenstown.
When you heard all of those objections, did you have the feeling that you weren't going to make it?
That's a hard question to answer. Obviously the decision has been made now, but we really acknowledge and hear those concerns that were put forward. We understand that each city is different in terms of geography, in terms of riders, and in terms of rider behaviour, and we will make extra effort to look at safety and mitigate nuisance in Queenstown.
Obviously everybody understands and is sympathetic towards the idea of getting out of cars, and micro-mobility sounds great, but the footpaths here are very crowded, especially at the peak of the tourism season. We have heard of accidents and incidents elsewhere. I mean, what's your response to that?
So footpaths aren't the right place for scooters necessarily, and we're working really hard to try and look at getting scooters onto bike lanes and having another real infrastructure to support that. In the meantime, we've got great teams on the ground and people who are working really hard to mitigate against nuisance and clutter. We've got customer support teams and people there to get out there and manage and fix any risk.
Now, the Chamber of Commerce Chief Executive spoke today about the sheer difficulty of hiring staff in Queenstown, getting premises. You're looking at up to 40 people. Is there a problem there, or do you think you can do it?
We can definitely do it, and I'm not sure where the number of 40 came from. I believe it was about half that we've talked about. We've already been in discussions about warehouse space, so we definitely do our homework and due diligence before we open in any market, and we're confident that we've got the team on the ground that will be able to support Queenstown.
When you look at locations, what are some of the things you take into account? Because this is attractive, I guess, because there's lots of people, but it's full of challenges as well.
It's absolutely full of challenges, and it's a trial for us as well. So we'll be working really closely with the council and with all community groups and stakeholders to ensure that we can meet everyone's needs.
Now, the Mayor was talking about what happens if it's an unmitigated disaster. I think it was slightly tongue-in-cheek, but slightly serious. I mean, would you support his idea that the trial would really come to an immediate halt if something serious and bad happened?
I guess these are things that we'll have to talk about with the council as they talk about the memorandum of understanding and as that becomes finalised. So we'll definitely be in discussions about that. We've got really great systems and processes to deal with all kinds of issues. We've been doing this in New Zealand for a year. We're in 130 markets around the world, and I'm sure that we can come to some sort of understanding.
One final question is really a conflict between the idea of getting people out of their cars and working in the town centre. I mean, our town centre is pretty small. It's got a reputation as a party town, but surely if this was a trial about getting people out of their cars, you'd be operating between Queenstown and Frankton. So what's the plan?
These are things that can come into the future. So a trial is only a short period of time where we can all gather data and see how things are working, and in the long term we really do want to get people out of cars and look at ways that we can do that. We're always innovating and iterating, and that's definitely the intention.
And scooters in the lake, is that okay?
Scooters in the lake is definitely not okay, but again, we've dealt with this before. We've got great teams and they know how to deal with these issues, and we will fix them.